Good morning and welcome back to a safe space. Happy Tuesday. Happy blessed morning. Most of us are up and at 'em on our way to work, getting kids ready for school. Whatever we're doing, we are on our way. I am going to be the first person to say I am not ashamed that I have my heat on in my car. It's cold outside, but that's still just that southern part of me. Even though I'm acclimated to New York, I've been up here almost 17 years. These cold mornings like this still kind of jolt me up. So I just want to first just thank everybody for supporting. Thank you so much for everyone that watched the lives with my little J Ladybug last week as we got ready to go back to school. This week we get back to our regularly scheduled program, and this week we are talking about anxiety. Anxiety is one of those things. I don't know how to explain anxiety, but like this. Okay. So if you know me and you know me very well, you know I don't drive on the highway. And there's no reason I don't drive on the highway. It's not like I've ever gotten into a car accident on the highway. I've actually gotten in more accidents in the snow, and I've never been in an accident on the highway, and I actually don't mind driving in the snow. Isn't that funny? So I just know, take it low and slow and allow your car to do what it's got to do. Don't try to make your car do something else. But if you put me on a highway and I'm driving and certain other people are driving, I'm not going to name no names because I'm not going to try to make nobody feel bad this morning. But there's certain people I don't trust with driving anywhere. But like my friend like Mashoma, I can drive in the car with her because she's paying attention to the road. She's very on top of it. My friend, he can drive on the highway and I'm okay. My director, I can drive on the highway with them and I'm okay. But if I get on the road, by the time I'm done, if I have to get on the highway, because there's certain places I can't get to without touching the highway for a couple of minutes, I'm basically in shambles by the time I get off. Why? I don't know. I know how to drive. I know how to drive safely. I've had a car since I was 20. So I know how to drive. And here's another funny part about my anxiety. I can drive on the highways in other parts of the country. Like I can drive on the highway in Virginia and Virginia Beach, no problem. I can drive on the highway in North Carolina. I drove to South Carolina from Virginia just a couple of years ago, no problem. But if I'm on the highway here in New York, that daggone throughway, or if I'm taking the Northway or something like that, no ma'am. You can keep that for the next person, and don't even get me started on 787. And I don't know why. But then again, yes, I do. So your highways here in New York don't allow me a way out. If something were to happen, I'm just stuck. So my anxiety stems from me being stuck with no means of help. Look at that. Look how I brought that right out. My fear is that I will continue to be stuck and no one will be able to help me. You know what? God works with me all day, every day in the morning. But anyway, we'll go back to that. But as I have been growing older and talking more and more to more women and becoming more and more transparent with them, they have become more and more transparent with me. And anxiety is not a quiet little demon. She finds herself attached to a lot of us. We find ourselves in fear of so many things that we already know in the back of our head are going to be okay, but fear and anxiety pushes itself to the forefront. One of my girlfriends from back home had posted on her page one day. She was like, guys, my anxiety is keeping me up at night. My heart is racing. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. How do you guys handle it? And I was like, wow, she really said that out loud to people, because you know it's also a very taboo subject. When people hear me say that I have anxiety, they give me like an uncomfortable look, but I know they wish they could say it out loud as well. And I told her, I said, one of the things I do, one of my coping mechanisms is I'll sing. Now, I don't sing horribly, but I'm not going to be on nobody's American Idol. But if you give me a gospel song and Beyonce, I'm about to remix that, and I'm going to get through wherever I need to get through. Give me somebody's hand. If I can hold somebody's hand. So my poor little Jacelyn Bug, she's had to deal with my hand holding tactics. Give me something. Like sometimes if I'm in the car with someone that I don't trust their driving, I'll actually get in the back seat and turn my head away so I don't have to see them driving like a maniac. My dad is one of those people. He drives really bad. But there are coping mechanisms. I did get a few inboxes. One of the coping mechanism, and I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to start with coping mechanisms, and then I'm going to start talking about things that cause us anxiety. One of the coping mechanisms that I heard about and I've been researching actually is CBD oil. You can take it orally. It can be rubbed onto your skin. It can be added to food or however you need to do it to get it. It does not have the THC, so you are not going to be high per se. I'm not telling people to go and smoke weed so that you can calm down. I'm not doing that. There's a difference between CBD and with the THC, the different effects. Another anxiety coping mechanism for me is to take a walk or do some kind of exercise. The endorphins from the exercise tend to calm me down, tend to kind of put my body in a state of, I'll get this like burst of energy, and then I'll do some other stuff, and then I will be able to kind of calm down. I also journal. I have a prayer journal and I have a regular journal. And in my prayer journal, you'll notice I don't talk to God like people, like with this big show. I talk to him like he's my friend because that's who he is. He said it in the Bible. So I talk to him like that. Now, I'm not going to say things to him like I say to Shoma, like, sis, okay, girl. I'm not going to do that. But there is a sense of familiarity with him. We are in relationship. I talk to other people. That's the hardest anxiety coping mechanism that I have. It's just talking to other people. I don't like for people to see that the person that I am sometimes has these breakdowns and these struggles, because sometimes people don't care that you're having that. They're still going to bring you what they have. So I just kind of sometimes go along with that on my own. Another coping mechanism for anxiety is deep breathing exercises. One of my friends described it in my inbox yesterday as almost like you're in labor, just to calm yourself down. And another technique I use is visualization. So like I said, there are certain places that I have to go that I know I have to touch the highway. Like if I have to go to East Greenbush, I have one of my favorite customers is there, and I have to touch the highway coming out of Albany to get into East Greenbush. It is literally like one exit, but that exit brings nausea to me. And last year by accident, I got off on the wrong exit. So I ended up 3 exits in on 787, and by the time I got off of the highway, you could hear my teeth chattering, and I had gone ashen gray. It was horrible. But now when I go over there, because I can't quit my job for one exit to the highway, I have to get through it. I have to push through it. I visualize it the day before. I visualize it the day before as many times as possible, knowing, and then I begin to count as I'm going. I only have to be on this highway for 50, as in me counting to 50 or counting to 100. I have to visualize what I'm going through and then make it there. I'm almost in a trance-like state, just getting there. And then as soon as I see the out or the exit, I'm like, I can get through this. I can get there. I can get there. I can get there. So there's different coping mechanisms that we use that aren't anybody having to get into a fetal position and rock back and forth or anything like that. So that's another thing. Anxiety does not show up the way people make you feel like it shows up, like you're just having an all-out meltdown or anything like that. Sometimes anxiety comes in the form of us stuttering when we're talking. If I'm super anxious, I'm stuttering, and it's a whole impediment at that point. Some of us, we fidget. Like Jacelyn, when she's anxious, she fidgets a little bit. Some of us, we may find ourselves eating. We may find ourselves drinking. Anxiety shows up, and then it manifests itself in different things. So those are some of the coping mechanisms. If you have other coping mechanisms, send them to me, show them to me, let me know what they are, and I will absolutely post them. So when we're dealing with anxiety is a fear. There is a true definition for it, but I'm gonna give you the Aisha's definition for it. It's a fear of something that causes us not to be able. It's a fear that we deal with that may not be rational, but it is still a fear to us. And I'll continue to use myself as an example, because that's whose shoes I have to walk in every day. It's an irrational fear. I have to drive all day, every day. If I was that afraid of driving, I wouldn't have a car. If I was that afraid of driving on the highway, I would block myself into my town, because I may have to get on the highway to get to work. I may have to. Now, I avoid that at all costs. I actually leave a little bit early in the morning so I could take the longer route. But this is exactly what happens. It's an irrational fear, and it takes us out of our normal routine and route to get over it. And as I was talking to another young lady in my inbox yesterday, once we have that panic attack, and sometimes it doesn't manifest all the way into a panic attack, it just may make us anxious for certain things, but once we find ourselves through that panic attack, the effects of that, and I don't know if we explain it as adrenaline or what is in our system, but it feels like it's in your system for almost, it's for days later. That panic attack that I had last year, it was so bad, I had to go to East Greenbush for one broker, and then I had to turn right back around, stop in Albany, and go right back up to Saratoga Springs. So I had a very busy travel day for work. And my best friend, she said, well, Aisha, I'll drive you up to Saratoga. Like, they literally sat downstairs in the car and waited for me while I worked with my broker, because it was that bad. But I also knew rationally that was not an excuse for me not to do my job. So the anxiety, and sometimes we can name it. Like this morning, this is the very first time that I've actually ever been able to put the full name to my anxiety, because it blankets everything. I don't feel like I'm going to have a way out. And it's also one of the main reasons why I travel. I have to have a way out. I have to have a way out. So we have to be able to put a name to it, and then we can move forward. Because a lot of times when people tell me that they're anxious, they have an anxiety, they don't know why. They say, I don't know why I'm afraid. I don't know why I'm afraid. But if we allow our mind to sit and settle for just a couple of minutes or a couple of days or maybe even a week or so, and see where the line connects for our fear and our anxiety, we may be able to put a name to it. We try to act like it's not there. We do a ton of other things to kind of get around it and get through it. But I remember praying to God last year. I said, next year, this time, I don't want to be in this place. And I find myself in this place again. But last year, I didn't know where to name that place. I just said this place. That place could have been anywhere. It could have been me sitting in my bathroom. It could have been me sitting on the couch. I don't want to be in this place was not clear enough. It was vague, and it's a work through to try to figure out where your fear and your anxieties lie and what your doubts are. What are you doubting? Why are you so fearful of this? What is it about this thing that makes you feel as though you can't get through it? So I have a feeling already that we're going to have to go back to anxiety. This was just 13 minutes or almost 14 minutes. There's no way we could have covered everything in that. So I want to hear what you have to say, where you're going to say it, and what are you doing to cope with your anxiety. I will also be the very first person to say, last week when I went to the doctor, my blood pressure was up, and my doctor, she was like, well, what do you want me, what would you like? And I was like, it's that easy? This is why we're in an opioid crisis. I was like, let me just get whatever's low. So I had to be put on something for my anxiety. Now, I did sleep well because I haven't been sleeping. My anxiety wakes me up. I'm up all night. Like, all right, let me watch this show. This looks interesting. So I don't want to continue to live my life like that. I need to be able to rest. I need to be able to focus and get things taken care of. So now, my goal is not to be on this forever, but enough to get me settled. I will be open enough with you to let you know, yes, I had to go ask for additional medical help. So again, if you have any additional, I have somebody bringing me something to review and look for with her. She was like, I think this might work for you. So I'm excited. I'm excited that people say, hey, we know what's going on. It's almost like an underground network of women that are going through, but they don't talk about it. But then as soon as you kind of give an inkling, they give you like the little signal, like, I know what you're talking about. And you got to keep it on the hush hush. So we're here. This is the safe place. If anybody comes into the safe place and they're unsafe, they want to be judgmental. Well, if you did this, you don't know what you would do until you were in that person's shoes. That's one. And I'm not even going to try to fill somebody else's shoes. But what I will do is walk alongside you, and maybe we can get the same kind of shoes because they might be cute. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me in a safe space. Please like, share, and subscribe to Elisa White on YouTube, and you will find my channel, a safe space for the strong. And you guys have a blessed and beautiful morning. I love you all. Thank you again.